Want to learn more about the Uninet iColor 250 printer and cutter and see it in action? Then keep on watching.
Hey y'all, Victoria Cherie here with Pretty Party and Crafty, and today I'm going to show you something new in my craft room that I'm really excited about. I've had my eye on this printer for a couple of years now, so shout out to Uninet who sent it to me to test out. This is the Uninet iColor 250 label printer, and what's so special about this is that it's a printer and cutter in one. Okay, so we're just going to take a look on the inside. So again, this is the iColor 250 from Uninet. If you open it up, this is where you can see where everything is happening. Let me zoom in a little bit more. So on the far right, this is your ink cartridges. Now this is a ink dye ink printer. It also has the option for pigment. So this is not toner, it's actual ink, but it comes in a single cartridge with all the colors that you need. Okay, close that up. And then right here where the blue part is, this is where, right there, that's holding the cutting blade in place. And then we have our labels that we've already installed. Also, let's take a look at the materials.
As far as the material, you have to use their continuous label rolls from their website because it is chipped, and that chip is to make sure that you have enough length, so you have to use their rolls. Now, if you're just printing, you can get die cut labels from anywhere. So this is 2-inch circles. I also have address labels, so you can use those if you're just printing. And if you want me to do a video about that, just let me know in the comments. But for print and cut, we have to use the continuous rolls. Also, if you want me to show you how to laminate them, just let me know in the comments and I can do a video about that. So let's go ahead and get started. Once you install the printer, it does install the cutting program as well. So you're just going to open up the program called iColor Custom Cut. I'm going to double click on that. All right, so once the program opens up, you have options. You can click on New Project to start a new project. You can click on Open Project to open up a saved project, or you can recover some existing projects, and it'll show any recent projects that you have below. So I'm going to go ahead and click on New Project. For name, I'm just going to name this Sample 1. And then page size, it might default to 4.25 by 2. Anytime you're doing print then cut, the width is always going to be 4.25 when you're doing print and cut. Now, if you're doing die cut labels, then you can change it, but the width for print and cut is always 4.25 inches. So if you look at the drop down menu, it does already give you some preset sizes. So you can do 4.25 by 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, 6 inch, all the way up to 12 inches. If you need to do a custom size, just click on custom size and you can input your dimensions here. But for me, I'm going to set it to the size of my sticker. So I'm going to do about 4.25 and I'm going to set that to 2. So I'm going to hit OK. And I have my document open. Now, there's 2 ways that you can bring in a file. You can go to import, or you can already have your folder open and you can just click, drag, and drop it in. Okay, so I'm just going to put it right here in the center. Now, what we want to do is add a cut line, because if we were to go and print this now, the only thing it would do is print because we don't have our cut line. If I hover over it, I might see a red line around it, but that's not a cut line. We have to add it. So to add our cut line, we're going to click on Trace. All right. So if we notice, I brought in my design. It's a PNG image. Now, I'm going to move this to the side. Now, on this right edge, it is some white here. And that's why it's kind of cut out right there. But I don't want it to be cut out. I just want a rectangle. So to get that, I'm going to go on the left side. I'm going to click on Use Alpha Channel when available. I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to click Update Preview. And now we have our rectangle. So that's exactly what I want. I didn't want it to cut out this white area. So if your preview is not the way that you want it, you can use that alpha channel, click on Update Preview, and it should give you what you need. Hit on OK. Now we have our cut line, but I want to make sure that I add a inset because I don't want to have some accidental white border. With the cut line already selected, I'm going to go to path and I'm going to click on offset. Okay, and then make sure inset offset is checked. So that black is representing our new cut line, but I want to bring that in a little bit because I just wanted it a small inset. So I'm going to make that about let's do a 0.017. And I'm going to hit OK. Looks good to me. So this is going to be our new cut line. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go to Print Setup. I'm going to go to Properties. And there's something that I want to change because when I print this, I want each label to print out separately. I don't want a full sheet. So I'm going to go to Launch Print Hub and I'm going to go to Properties. Okay. It popped up at the back. All right, so it popped up below. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to Label Feed. Cutter Enabled is checked. I want it to cut after every label. Now, it's up to you if you want it to cut after every label or if you want it to cut after the label count. I'm going to do cut after every label. Okay, I'm going to hit OK. Click OK, then click Print at the top. Okay, so when you first do it, when you get down here, it might say Print. You want to make sure you change that to Print and Cut. Okay, and then number of copies, you can set how many copies you want. So for this one, I'm just going to do 3. I want to hit OK. All right, and now we are printing. So as soon as I hit OK, it went ahead and it's going to start printing and cutting. So because I had it select to cut after every label, it's going to have the labels be individual. Now I'll show these again towards the end, but I wanted you to see how long it takes. So it is printing, cutting, and then cutting each sheet, and then it's going to move on to the next one. So that's my second one. And I did 3. So the total process is about 50 seconds for 3. But there's definitely a faster way. And that's if you're printing more than one label on a document. So create a document that has more than one label. And we'll see that next. So I created a new file by clicking the green plus button for new project, and I'm just copying and pasting the previous design onto this project. Now I'm selecting everything so I can align it to the page. You can do that on the right side panel. I was looking for a way to kind of tidy it up and space it out vertically, but I couldn't do that, so I'm just moving it individually. But once you have this ready to print, just hit the print at the top, and we're going to select 2 copies because I want a total of 6 sheets. So it'll print 2 sheets with 3 on each. I did speed this up, but I will say in comparison, this printed and cut it faster. And I believe it's because the cutter isn't switching back and forth between cutter and the print head. So when printing and cutting, I highly recommend setting your length to 12 inches or 8 inches and having more than one sticker per document so it's not constantly switching back between cutter and printer. Right, so this was my first cut. I had one design on my document and I had it set to cut after each label. And because of that, when I did 3 copies, it printed, cut, and then cut the sheet and then started on the next one. So I actually don't recommend this because it will take longer. So instead, we have some other options. So this is what I did. I did this as a 4.25 by 6. I had 3 of the same designs on the same document, and then I set it to cut 2 copies. So it printed, it cut the sheet, and then it did my second copy. So I recommend this option. You could do it 12 inches long or 8 inches long for the fastest results. So this is a method that I recommend. Choose how many copies you want on your sheet, and then have it set to cut after each label, because as long as you have 3 copies on your document, you'll have 3 copies on that sheet before it cuts and starts the next copy. Okay, but then I decided to do another way to see what would happen. So I created another sheet and I set it to 12 inches or 12 inches long, and I set it to cut after 3 seconds of no activity. So if you don't want it to cut until all of your printing cuts are done, then you want it to set to cut after no activity. So while you take a look at a close-up of the labels, let me share pros and cons. First, its size. It's only about 13.25 inch wide, so it fits on your desktop. You get professional results, perfect for business packaging and favors. You print and cut using the same machine. You can use continuous rolls and die cut rolls. This is not a hobby machine, so this is perfect for small and mid-sized businesses where you're printing up to 3,000 labels a day. And you can see the estimated print costs, and I'll show you that in another video. Now, cons. It only works with rolls, so you cannot use sheet labels with this. The maximum width is about 4.5 inches, so you can't do large projects. And you have to use a USB cord because I didn't see a Wi-Fi or Bluetooth option. Now, if you want to see a specific project using this, let me know in the comments. Be sure to like and follow for more.